Alright, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to review Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, I have to start this review with the, not necessarily an apology for my first impressions after 15 hours, I'm not going to apologize for that. Like, I'm not taking any of that back. That first 15 hours necessarily wasn't, it wasn't terrible, but to me, like, it felt like they were just cramming so much filler into that, and it was starting to make me worry. Like, it was starting to make me a little bit upset, and like, why would they do this? And at first I was like, no, this, and see, this is the thing that was like making me mad, is because this was a one disc. I mean, like, this is one game when it first came out, and now they are 3 games, $60, $70, $70. That to me, kind of feels like, at first it was like, okay, man, they're just trying to squeeze every nickel and dime out of us they can. They're doing everything they can to try to milk this franchise, or at least this particular game. And I get, like, the first game. And, I mean, that was 25 hours. It was, I beat that in 25 hours. But that, to me, was like, okay, awesome. Proof of concept. This is awesome. This is incredible. Heck yeah, just finish it out. And then, they take it out to 3 games. And so that first 15 hours when I'm slogging through all of that filler stuff, being forced to do mini games, just, it was starting to make me mad. So I was getting a little bit frustrated with it, and like, this review could have been completely different had that kind of stuff continued throughout the entire game. I would have been like, no, they should have taken all the filler stuff out, finished up the game, so that we don't have to wait another 3 to 4 years to go back and play this experience. But after completing this game, and and I did kind of take a little bit of time with it. I started playing last night, around, I want to say like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, played till midnight, been up all freaking day playing. It's now, 9 o'clock at night, and I finally completed this. So, I'm gonna take my, I'm gonna take the, video capture off here now that we have completed that. So that there, just the proof of concept, of me, getting through this game. Let me see. Let me go over here and save it real fast and see what my total time was. Okay, so yeah. Why would it turn my controller off? That was okay, I got it. Okay, I got it. Let's do a save real quick. Boom. Just do a whole new save right there. So, playtime, 35 hours. 35 hours. Okay, now, all right. So I gotta tell you guys, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of rushed through the story. I didn't spend a whole lot of time in the open world. But here's what I did. So normally when I beat these, I'll make like multiple different saves. So I've got like 6 saves in there for places that I wanted to go back and like really explore. And I do that with all of my open world games. I get through the main campaign so that I have a reason to go back into the open worlds and really explore. So every time I got to an open world area, I did a save. I did a save at the beginning of each one of those so that I can go back and fully explore those. And because I like to do that. And sometimes, I like to be able to get through the game and do my review and stuff. But there's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot to unpack here. And I'm going to tell you right now, this game, absolutely a 10 out of 10. Man, this game made me cry like a couple of times. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, really? I'm crying? Are you serious, dude? I'm a baby. I'm crying. I'm like, wow, man, this story got to me. But I never played the original. I never beat the original. I made it, maybe like 6 hours into that game. I was still, trying to get my head wrapped around. It was like the first turn-based game. Like, Final Fantasy VII was the first turn-based game I ever played. Like, back then I was like, man, I don't want to play that. I like the action games and stuff like that. So I only played a few hours of it. It wasn't until Final Fantasy VIII that I like really was like, yeah, dude, this is cool. And I played through that. And so like, and then I played, some turn-based games, throughout the, like the early 2000s, stuff like that. Then I kind of just fell away from playing like the Japanese RPGs, and then I finally came back to them, like last generation. Well, the beginning of this generation, a little bit last. So I mean, when Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out, I was like, "Yep, I'm absolutely getting that." But it wasn't. I mean, it was. I mean, that was. I think that was literally the first JRPG type game that I played. Nope, maybe it was. Maybe it was Yakuza 6. I don't know. I just wasn't playing a whole lot of the Japanese games anymore at that point. I was playing a lot of the AAA Western studio games, and and that's fine. But I'm finally back. I'm starting to get a feel for them again. Okay, there's a lot to unpack. There are multiple open world places in here. There are, you've got chocobos, that you can ride around after you unlock them in each area. You've got, for a couple of areas, you're going to have like a motorized vehicle that you'll be able to drive around. That was actually kind of cool. So I got to the Golden Palette or the Golden Saucer, and I was like, man, gosh, this game is dragging. But literally right after that point, I'm not even joking. Like, you leave the Golden Saucer, you're in the freaking desert, and from that moment forward, I couldn't. I seriously, I was surprised I went to bed last night. I woke up early today at like 5 a.m. and started playing because I was like, I need to freaking finish that because it was getting good, and the more you played it, the better it got. Sections later in the game that kind of had a little bit of like filler stuff in them were a lot more packed with story content. So I was like, whoa, this is good. And I was into it. I was engaged. I was really feeling what was going on in the story. The combat in this game, absolutely impeccable. Impeccable. The only problem that I have with the combat is I like that fast twitch to be able to, like, throw in a couple hits and then like hit the block button, and be able to like parry attacks and stuff. No, it's so clumsy on this. It's like you cannot be offensive and then switch to defense or defense quick enough to actually be able to like parry some of this stuff. And like, you have to not be fighting and wait for them to swing and then parry. If they could fix that, that's my only complaint with the combat. That's literally it. My only complaint. I can dodge around. I can do my moves. I can jump into the menus and make all of my make my whole crew do like different moves and stuff. When you got like when you're doing like a staggered event, you can get them all to use all their powers and all of that stuff. Very freaking cool. I really do like that. I am giving the nod to Final Fantasy 16 combat just because I like that. I don't know, man. These are both very good. These are probably two of the ultimate best action role-playing ARPGs that I've played this generation so far. So it's really, really hard for me to really decide which one is which. But man, I love the mature content of Final Fantasy 16. Like, I absolutely love that. And so playing Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth with a mixture of mature content versus the giggly fun stuff, it wasn't so bad. Like, it's not so bad. You get to these areas, you meet these people, the overall, I mean, Yuffie, I'm so glad that I was able to finish Intergrade because she was so annoying in Intergrade, but I finally got through it and I started liking her character, so it was okay throughout Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Once you get her and she's in your crew and stuff, I was like, all right, whatever, I can deal with this. It actually got pretty good. Like, I feel a lot closer to these characters in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth than I ever did before. Like, in the first game, I kind of I didn't really care for Cloud's attitude much. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, another angsty freaking emo boy. I was like, man, whatever. But the combat was amazing in that game. The story was pretty dang good. The other characters, like Tifa and Barrett and all of these guys. It was making that one there. That one was pretty good. Like, I really liked that one. I thought Final Fantasy VII Remaster was good, but I definitely think this one here is significantly better. Them first 15 hours for me kind of dragged. Imagine if I would have been like exploring the world and doing all the towers and doing all the side content and all of that stuff. I don't know. Like, I wasn't... To be completely honest with you guys, I wasn't as attached to the experience, like during that first part, just because it's like really light on story. You don't really, I mean, like, yeah, you're going after Sephiroth, and it's like you're really light on story for that first. So for me to get through all that, about 15 hours. Combat and everything was really engaging, but then it slows down in these like major hub areas, you know, like and I'm just using the golden saucer for reference. You know, you get to these places, it slows you down. The first one was, gosh dang it, what was that first one that kind of slows you down a little bit? Because you have to do like these, like, not necessarily mini games, but like these like weird kind of things, and they are still throughout the whole game, but they start loading a lot more story content to keep you engaged right after you leave the golden saucer. Right after that point, up to that point, it was like really like, there's a little bit, there's not so much. I mean, like you go through when you're going through gosh dang it, was it Junon? The Junon area, you're like doing like these little dance offs and stuff like that, and I was like, whatever, that didn't really bug me too much. But then they start. And then like you get to the next place and there's already another one, and you're like, oh my gosh, dude, this is getting kind of annoying, and it's kind of feeling like they're padding out the content and stuff. And I'm like, gosh dang, you know, it's like I want to be able to do this stuff if I want to do it. I don't want to play the dragons or the Queen Blood or any of that kind of stuff. I don't care about the mini games. Maybe I really don't. Like I don't. Sometimes I don't understand them, and I don't have the mental capacity in a game like an action event or an action RPG game to even think about trying to learn the mini games, because I'm already trying to learn and get comfortable with the whole upgrade system and all of that stuff. And there's a lot of depth to that too. I mean, I played through the whole game and I still kind of like my builds kind of fell off. It wasn't too bad because I don't feel like I think I did a pretty decent job at like moving things around this time, because toward the end of the game it wasn't like so ridiculously hard like JRPGs normally get. Like Final Fantasy 16 was, oh my gosh, that game was like, it went from being a fun hack and slash type experience, you know, Devil May Cry thing, to like, oh my gosh, this is challenging. But like I was able to get through that one, and like this one here, yeah, like I don't feel like I had it too messed up, just due to the fact that the challenge never got to the point where, like, that's weird too. The challenge never got to a point like where it was just so overbearing that it was getting frustrating. I felt good about this one. And yes, you're gonna need a little bit of freaking. I mean, yeah, you're gonna need a little bit of like know how to kind of play this kind of game, because it can get challenging really fast. Like there were some enemies and some boss encounters in this game that were like, oh my gosh, man, it was getting a little bit annoying, you know, but like when I got to the Vincent, like I'm just gonna say Vincent, when I fought that boss Vincent, that was the one that was like, oh my gosh, this is a little bit freaking wow, because everything up to that I was like, okay, not so bad, but that one there, man, I freaking had to use so many Phoenix Downs, it wasn't even freaking funny. I was starting to get, that was the one fight that I started getting a little bit mad in, and I'm like, my gosh, dude, this is frustrating. You're in this like small room and stuff, and so I don't know, once you get there, I'm trying to do this as spoiler free as possible, because this game is a very important game. It really is. And it can be a little bit frustrating, but let me talk about visuals and all of that stuff for a minute. All right, with this game here, obviously you can see it with your own eyes. It's not that great looking, but coupled with being able to set your PS5 into 1080p mode and deactivate, listen to this, deactivate your HDR, and this game looks freaking phenomenal. HDR is what's ruining your image quality. 100%. Like, it is 100% ruining your image quality, because it's washing out textures. Like, once you turn off HDR and you look at the wow, it's going to blow you away. It's going to absolutely blow you away. Turn off your HDR and play it, you know, in in like 1080p mode or 1440p mode, depending on your TV, and it cleans it all up. It makes it look absolutely freaking incredible. I'm not even joking. When I figured that out, when I turned that HDR off, man, the image quality just was like, whoa, this is incredible. You can see like nice, sharp, clean colors and everything. All the rock faces look significantly better. Everything, the ground looked better. The vegetation looked like more colorful. Like when you first walk through Nilfong gosh dang it, what's the name of that? Nilflong, or when you first go through that area. All of the vegetation just looks like flat and whatever. But once you turn off HDR, everything looks colorful. There's like red flowers. There's red and green, and all of them beautiful colors are right there, and it looks incredible. I was like, wow, okay, Nilflong or whatever the freak that name is. Gosh dang it! How come I can't freaking name? How come I? Oh, never mind. But yeah, once you turn off HDR, it looks significantly better. You have to turn it off at the system level. Turn that off. Set your PS5 if you're on a 4K screen. Depending on your screen, you might have to use 1080p or you might have to use 1440p. Is what that's going to do is it's going to force your PlayStation to send your TV a 1080p or a 1440p signal, and once that happens, your TV will have a built-in 4K upscaler that will upscale your image. And depending on your upscaler and how good your TV is, you may get like a lot better detail, or you might get clean enough lines that you can't see like a whole bunch of jitter or fuzz or anything like that. And it really does work. It really does work depending on your TV. Now, it won't work on monitors, sadly. It doesn't. Your monitor won't upscale. Your monitor just gets and receives the signal and puts out whatever resolution it gets. If you have a good monitor that will accept a 1440p signal, then you can send tell your PS5 to send it a 1440p image, but you might as well just send it a 4K image. That way you get downsampling or whatever. In terms of gameplay and length, like I said, 34 hours was my playtime on this. About 35 hours. 35 hours to me, that's good playtime, because I did not do a whole lot of side quests. I got through, I didn't do a whole lot of side quests, and I did not explore everything in the map. Now that I'm done with it, now I can go back and now I can focus on that stuff. Now I can just go back there and focus on Janoon. I can focus on like all of the other areas, the canyon area. There's a lot of beautiful places that I want to go back and like really explore. This game is beautiful, and it is massive. It is, this is an epic scale for this game, and I'm hoping that the next part of the game doesn't take so long, because it looks like they've got the whole map already built out. There's like nothing else they need to do. Nothing. I mean, all they need to do is focus on story. They've already got all the regions and everything already built, so we shouldn't. And I mean, you can get out on the ocean. You can travel around, all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm hoping that the next iteration or the final chapter of Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out a lot sooner than 3 years, because now I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to finish it. The story ended with a very good with a very good place. It felt natural, so I'm like, yeah, this is good. I think you are 100% going to enjoy this, especially if you listen to the tips that I said. Turn off your HDR. If you're on a 4K screen, make sure you adjust your output resolution on there so that you'll get a better upscaling adventure or experience. And yeah, dude, this game is awesome. I 100% recommend it. Easy 10 out of 10 for me on this one. I was gonna, at first I was like, man, this isn't looking good. But yeah, this game turned out way better than I expected. Way better than I expected. From what I was playing the other day when I first got it till now, I'm like, oh my gosh, is that really the same game? This was incredible. This was incredible. So if you like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe, my friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And I really appreciate you watching and taking the time to watch this. Let me know in the comments section what you think about this. If you've already beat it, if there's anything you want to add to this, so people read in the comments can get a little bit better thing, or a little bit better idea of what they're getting into. So all right, guys, we'll see you later. Thanks for watching.